Hi everyone. Thanks for joining in. This is a part of our LinkedIn Live series where we try most of the times, but 2 to 2:30 we go live to talk to different finance professionals all over India, all over the world to understand exactly what is it that they're doing, and also to understand the market opportunities that they're tapping into, and for them to share some insights with all of us. So today we have with us Nehal Sheth, who is an ex-EY associate partner who was from their M&A and private tax practice based out of Ahmedabad, Gujarat. And in 2021, he decided to start his own tax and advisory firm, MNSS and Associates, right? So we'll be discussing with Nehal, of course, about the Ahmedabad Gujarat market, the opportunity, the new GCC policy that was unveiled in Gujarat. What is it going to mean for firms like him, and of course all of us, and his journey starting out from a partner, to a founder. So Nehal, my first question to you is, what was your experience at EY, in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, and when did the idea come up? Hey, you know what? I want to start my own. Why would you give up, all the name, the brand, the network, the prestige associated with being an associate partner?
My journey actually started almost 17 years back when as a fresher, I joined a firm called RSM. RSM in those days was probably the largest CA firm outside the Big Four. Maybe it's bigger than some Big Four also. Okay, and it was a very very fast growing, rapid firm, and I was there for 4 years till we merged into PricewaterhouseCoopers. So PwC bought us somewhere in 2007. After that, I think I was there in PwC for a year or so, and then for next 12 years, 12 to 13 years, I was in E&Y. Again, as in E&Y, initially I helped to set them the Ahmedabad office. I was one of the first three employees or the two employees in the tax practice when I joined the EY Ahmedabad. I joined, I think, 2 months after the tax practice was set up there in 2008, somewhere in the middle of 2008. And then my journey there lasted till 2021. And I think by the time we left, EY was a leading tax practice as far as Gujarat region is concerned. But I think after having spent almost 17 years in EY and the Big Fours overall, somewhere I felt that there's a need to create a firm which is slightly different. So while I do appreciate that Big Fours as you mentioned, have a brand, have that prestige associated with it. Okay, but somewhere I felt that in the area which I am there, which is the tax and regulatory consulting space. Okay, brand is important, but not extremely critical. People at the end of the day, it's not like an audit practice where people may want a stamp of a Big Four. People here want brand, by the same time they're looking for extremely value-added, personalized services. Somebody who is their trusted advisor, somebody who they can go to at any time of the day, right, and whom they can rely for finding the innovative out of the box and solutions to complex problems. So that's the problem we thought we can solve, and for that, brand is useful but not an imperative. Okay, so that's how we conceptualize. I and my partner Mrunal. So MNSS stands for Mrunal and Nehal, and we are the two partners. And we started MNSS. Both of us are the co-founders. We co-founded it into 2021. And when we were starting to sort of conceptualize this, we said, how can we different? How can we be different from the firms which are there today? We said that we want a firm which is first of all not revenue oriented and target oriented. While money is very important and all of us work to earn money, but then money should not be the sole objective if you run a firm. Today as a firm we have very minimal policies. Almost 30 to 40% of the time was spent in my organizations in previous firms on MIS, on datas, right? Reportings to different business heads, right? On risk procedures. And the effectively 50 to 60% is the productive time you had. We said, let's create a firm where we focus on just two pillars, client and people. There's no third pillar for us, right? And we will create that firm where everybody is able to utilize almost 100% of his time on value-added services for the clients, with a singular focus to serve the clients better. So that's what we wanted. We didn't want people to get bogged down in hierarchies. So again, on the culture side, we said, let's have a very flat culture. Okay, so we have probably hardly have some three, levels below the partners. So idea was that everybody is one team. I think
Yeah.
MNSs. So we are a boutique tax and regulatory firm. We are almost 4 years old, and we started bang in the middle of second wave, of the COVID. And touchwood, we have been growing exponentially over last 3.5 years. So today we are a team size of 50 plus. Almost most of them would be chartered accountants. Maybe 85-90% are all chartered accountants. And as a firm, we don't do the regular accounting work or audit work or outsourcing work for either offshore clients or Indian clients. So we are a very, very boutique firm. We work on very niche and marquee clients only. We work where we are, on work some of the very complex assignments. Uh, Either it's M&A or corporate tax. We focus on 5 areas. One is transaction advisory, which includes the mergers and acquisitions. Second is corporate tax. Third is international tax and transfer pricing. Fourth is a fund practice of financial services division. And the fifth is the estate planning and the private tax practice, which is the family office practice. So these are the 5 areas, niche areas, which we have been working on.
Thanks, Nehal, for this. This was very elaborate. What is the capital one needs to start here? What is the investment one needs to start? One is, did you really go back and forth to think that, hey, you know what, should I go for it? What was the thought process there?
It was for me and also for Mrunal. It was not that we were somebody with 3 or 4 years of experience starting out with a fresh year practice trying to make a name. I think I was somewhere at reasonably, I would not say the peak of my career. There was a long way to go, but I was definitely a stage where I was there in this region, in this market for 17 years. Of course, 4 years RSM I was in Mumbai. Okay, but since then, for last 12 to 13 years, I was in Ahmedabad and was able to network and be recognized as a professional, and so that really helped. Very interesting. You will not believe that when I started and decided to start the practice, and I discussed with a few people who were my earlier clients and and mentors also who we worked very we had mutual respect, and all of them came and said that Nehal, I want to be your first client. Can you please send your engagement letter and please put any number you want to. Okay, so I don't care. This is your firm, you are starting out, and this is how I want to be your first support. So actually I had to tell 5 people that you are my first client, so none of them are disappointed. So that's how I think we were able to from the day one have a revenue stream. Okay, and we were very clear that we didn't focus see, in our firms like us, there's an annuity business, and then there are those one-time assignments. Okay, which are the M&A transactions. M&A transactions generally give us a very, very well, the growth is extremely non-linear, but the revenue predictability is not there. Whereas we also have a corporate tax, we have a transfer pricing practice. So the idea was that we said, let's create more and more retainerships. Okay, so we created retainerships, we created annuity businesses within our core 5 focus areas. So that gives a lot of comfort, that when the clients are okay to, look at you outside a brand, outside a big four. Some at some stage, of course, there was a validation of, I was always, a lot of doubts were there in my mind that, whether it's Nehal Sheth is Nehal Sheth because he's part of EY, and what is going to happen to him once he doesn't have the brand. That I'll be very candid with you that I had a lot of self doubts there, but I said, hey, this is the time. If I don't do this now, I don't think I'll be able to do this in future. Because age is on my side today, but it may not be 10 years down the line. Okay, so that's how I took the plunge. And when I took the plunge, I had fortunately clients who said that we want to sign retainerships with you, we want to be your annuity accounts, and we want to support you. Don't look back. Okay, please do what is best. and Mrunal also had similar relationships and similar clientele. So I think when we joined together, we were able to, on day one, while we were ready to put in a lot of capital, I had already had savings out of my career, and I was very happy to put that. But fortunately for me, we were profitable in the year one, and the year two probably we surpassed whatever projections we had. So fortunately for us, because of the legacy we carried, okay, we were never required to actually put in so much of capital. In fact, I think probably not more than initial 3 months, right? And you are right. We carry a heavy fixed cost because we have people joining. We have qualified CAs. We have people joining from other big fours, and the expectations. We have people joining from other locations. We have chartered accountants joining our firms in Ahmedabad, shifting from Delhi, from Mumbai to Ahmedabad, from Bangalore to Ahmedabad. So when we have people from other locations joining here with carrying a brand, etc., then definitely there's going to be a overall increase in the cost.
That's exciting to know. So, Nehal, if there's somebody who wants to start a firm like yours, what should be the ballpark revenue that they should have in mind that this is achievable?
Uh, very frankly, it again depends upon what services are you doing. Are you an audit firm? Right? I had honestly no clue when I started my practice. And when you start looking at numbers again, I think my fundamental, the reason today was for one of the reasons was for leaving the brands is this entire number driven kind of an approach. Once you start putting numbers to everything, then every time a client enters the office, right, all you can think is how much am I going to bill him? Okay, now that approach is something which I was not comfortable at all. So I was very clear that uh, I don't know how much I'm going to make, how much is required. Okay, but at the end of the day, I know that if we create a firm which is truly innovative and out of the box, and client centric, we are going to make a reasonable amount of money. So, and we are going to surpass probably all the big four compensations, which the teams, I mean, I can tell you that, probably in the third or fourth year itself, we have been able to do that, right?
Okay, cool. That's an interesting perspective. What was your biggest personal breakthrough in running this practice? Okay, and what were the skills that you didn't have earlier that you had while that you built on the way, or you had to like reskill or uptool yourself?
So I'll tell you what, see, in a big four culture, essentially you are betting on established networks, your brands, right, and the alliances which they have. Okay, so these are the three givens because that's the infrastructure which the big fours give you. When you move out of a big four, I think you lose all the three, right? You have to be more proactive. Right? You need to, while we don't chase clients, and we would never like to do that, okay, but we would want to be a firm where clients chase us. But at the same time, we need to be proactive. We need to, it's like as a tiger, every day you need to go and hunt for yourself, right? So there's no food coming to your doorstep every day, right? So we were like that. We had to hunt for food every day, get our own business, manage our own clients. Okay, so far, and this is a far change from the comfort of a big four, where I had, in the morning I would wake up and I would receive a mail from my US counterpart stating that, this is an assignment for you, and let me know your billable rates, and then, probably some negotiation here or there, you start working, very, very different from this.
How is it going and discovering clients, and where do you meet the clients, and how do you discover them? Is it only in Ahmedabad or is it outside Ahmedabad as well? Tell us more about that.
So no, so our team is entirely, maybe all the 50 plus team members are sitting in Ahmedabad today. But again, our clients are actually pan India. So I have, for example, one of my clients is a government of a foreign country, and almost all their M&As in India are done. Maybe half of their M&As are done through us. Okay, or we have a lot of clients in Mumbai also, right? A lot of funds and a lot of other corporates are of our clients in Mumbai. Ahmedabad, of course, with my presence here and physical presence here, is definitely going to be takes a larger share in the overall our client mix. but we are definitely a pan-India firm. And as of now, and I'll be honest with you, Chantal, it has been there's not been any active marketing by us, or no, sort of. It has been more been word of mouth. For the simple reason that for us it was always a case of the demand sort of outpacing the supply. We were always the work kept flowing in at a pace higher than we had imagined, and therefore for us the struggle is always on the delivery side. So, as we start the phase 2 now, probably we might I'm not too sure, we might have to do some bit of branding for us, but as of now it has been pretty much been word of mouth, promoters talking to one another, clients talking to one another, and work just flowing to us.
As you earlier said as well, this business is more relationship driven, and you've seen it after starting your own as well. So, do you think it's specific to Gujarat as a state, or it's in general?
Sure. No, so I think definitely Gujarat market is a bit of promoter-driven market. So you have a lot of corporates and promoters here. So yes, that definitely helps because they are entrepreneurs and therefore they support entrepreneurs also, and they are more interested in value-added services. They don't care about brand to a large extent. But like I said, many of our clients are not just from Ahmedabad. We have clients in Mumbai and Delhi, and therefore it's not just about the Gujarat market for us. I think we are pretty much we may be slightly tilted in Gujarat, but our clientele is pretty diversified in that sense. And yes, this market is in fact very very price sensitive. So this is a very different market from what you would probably see in a Bangalore or a Mumbai or Delhi, but at the same time it's a market which gives you value. So if you show value to the promoter, okay, uh, he will not question your fees, or he will not question what you ask even once. He's very clear. You give me, show me value, okay, you show me what you're getting on the table, you show me what is the out of box solution which you have, which probably I could have gone to any other boutique firm, but then what is it that differentiates you, right? And if you're able to get that on the table, then definitely I have seen that in this market, fees is not a challenge at all. We have been able to command some very, very high fees. Our fees are at par with Big Fours. Probably sometimes we charge more because a simple reason is that, unlike my earlier days when probably my role was more selling. Okay, now we are, as a firm, we want partners and we want team members to be more hands-on. And, since a lot of our significant partner time goes on our assignments. Okay. So we
Okay.
don't compromise on fees, but what we say is that when we'll commit to you, we deliver it. That's the simple philosophy which we work with.
So now talking about Ahmedabad, Gujarat as a whole, right? But do you also see a lot of startups, a lot of global companies, a lot of MNCs?
Gujarat was always a market which was known for its infrastructure. The roads, the labor policies, the powers, the connections. So there was always clients who were wanting to set up their businesses here. When the gift city being in Gujarat, and it's 30 minutes from my office right now. This is a city which has really transformed the financial landscape of the country, right? Today, sitting for my global investor, my global clients, yes, we do discuss whether you want to invest in India through Dubai, you want to invest in India through Singapore, or you want to invest through US or Cayman Islands, and now we discuss one more options. Do you also want to invest through Gift City? Okay, so now every no analysis is complete, and no discussion gets over with a prospective client without a discussion on Gift City. Okay, and a lot of our fund practice, which we have been able to set up successfully over the last 3 to 4 years, is considering the fact that we had the Gift City here. I think, to my mind, that has been a big game changer for the state, right? Other than so till now, Gujarat was always a manufacturing state. But if you want to set up a BPO or a KPO or an offshoring center, then please go to Bangalore, go to Pune, Hyderabad, and Delhi. So these were the Gurgaon. So these were the locations for services. Now with the Gift City, we have the financial services hub coming here, and with the government support, the regulatory incentives, the tax incentives, I think that's what driving the service growth here. And I would believe that I think this is just the beginning. We have a lot of changes, positive changes coming in for the city, and I think that's going to drive a lot of the businesses to Gujarat going forward.
Do you have any insights about the GCC? Gujarat unveiled a GCC policy recently. It has huge job opportunities, huge investments that's expected. Almost 250 plus GCCs are expected to set up base in Gujarat. So, what does it mean for a firm like yours?
I think with more and more the clients, especially in the Europe and the US region, now earlier they were offshoring work to service providers like Infosys and TCS and host of others, and they're saying, hey, why do we want to outsource this work to some service provider in US? Why not set up our own center in India, right? So I think this is a change which we have seen in last couple of 2 to 3 years. A lot of these large MNCs who were earlier in offshoring work are now setting up their own capability centers, and that change is driving the competition among the states, right? And then the gift city was there, which is for financial services. IT policy was for IT, but then why not create a framework which also sort of attracts other engineering services, along with IT also. So that was the thought process where Gujarat didn't want to be left behind on this particular opportunity. And I think the GCC policy is extremely, extremely lucrative. I think many corporates we have started discussions on how to set up the GCC center. In fact, some of our very large clients have actually started to sort of streamline their entire supply chain and see how we can shift, or let's say there are groups which have let's say in 10 industries, and who are in 10 industries and across 50 companies. Why not consolidate everything into one center and get those all the 10 industries as a shared service center in a GCC, and then the GCC can be the area which can then start serving the entire group, right? And that saves economies of scale, there's economies of cost. So a lot of things are advantages there. So I think this is it's an it could be a big challenge for the IT companies in India overall. But as far as the uh, as far as for advisors like us are concerned, I think we are now getting involved in discussions with the clients on how to actually create the entire GCC framework and how to take advantage of the policy, the tax incentives, the other fiscal incentives, and create the entire structure which helps the company to optimize the payroll costs, and the same time synergies by everyone sitting at one location. So that those benefits are definitely going to come going forward.
What role would technology play in, in a tax practice like yours?
So, no, that's a very good question. So, when I said that, we have two pillars, which is client and people, I think there's a third pillar now, which is technology, right? And that is equally important today. Okay. One is, of course, that as a firm, we would like to be in areas, or we are today in areas where hopefully AI and technology has yet not reached, because those require emotional quotient, and those require a lot of creativity, right? Which is the entire the transaction advisory practice, or our fund practice, or the family office practice, right? So these are the practices I feel where, because it requires a creativity and it requires a fair bit of EQ. Probably technology will not be able to get there very soon, but definitely as far as corporate tax is concerned, as far as the compliance practices are concerned, I think technology is going to play a big role. And as a firm, we are also start looking at areas where we are going to invest in creating internal tools. So we already have creating certain various internal software tools, etc., which helps in our compliance practice, and it helps in sort of easing the routine work so that our teams are able to focus more on the value added part of it.
Is talent hiring easy? I mean, what's it like? Like everyone's complaining that it's not easy.
Honestly, I think, Chantal, that's the only thing which is stopping us. How have you sort of get the right talent? There are so many opportunities in the market, but we are just restrained by getting the right talent, because while we do get a lot of CVs and a lot of people who are willing to join the firm, but the people with the relevant experience, with the relevant background, with the relevant passion and attitude, for a consulting practice. I think that is what where we sort of end up, so with that gap. The person with the right culture fit, and very surprisingly, I was talking to some of my ex-colleagues in EY or the Big Fours, and I understand they have the same problem. So then the point is that it's not about brand. I think somewhere, I think the India is at the cusp where definitely there's a talent shortage for the kind of work which we are involved in. Okay, and we'll be restrained by that today. I think if the talent is available, I think there's no limit to how much we can grow.
Any emerging service lines you think that your firm will start because of the growing opportunities, the growing interest in Gujarat, and
Focus as a firm is very clear. We don't want to get into any kind of offshoring work, which is more accounting, outsourcing. So we are always going to be part of very boutique, complex, and out of the box solutions kind of assignments. Even our core clients are all corporates and large family offices and MNCs. From that perspective, we don't want to get into that's not a space which we want as of today. Of course, we all live in a dynamic world, and I cannot be sure whether what I might change my views maybe 6 months, a year down the line. But as of now, I think we are more focused on the kind of areas we are. But yes, within those areas, we see a lot of opportunities. So, for example, Dubai, Mauritius, they have all introduced transfer pricing regulations, right? So now we are, for most of our clients have a touch point in Dubai, and then there are a lot of Dubai-based groups who are now reaching out to us, said, "Hey, can you do our transfer pricing along with the overall international tax structuring?" So I mean, these countries never had transfer pricing laws, and so the advisors there are really sometimes a bit clueless. That the law is there, but how it's going to be administered, what to do, a lot of things they want our guidance, correct? And we have this law for now 25 years now, almost 22 years now. So that's how I think I believe that a lot of opportunities are going to come from the countries like Dubai, Singapore, etc., where the laws are now changing, and more clients are therefore reaching out to us on how we can help them on these service lines like transfer pricing, etc.
any untapped opportunities or industries in Gujarat that which is on the verge of massive growth?
I think for us, the market is really pan-India, and I think we do believe that the entire capital market, okay, that's a segment where we have been active to some extent. That the market, of course, goes through its ups and downs, but I believe that the capital market is going to be a big area for us as a practice. Okay, and we would definitely be looking at it more closely. We already have been working on few assignments, but I believe that that's an area which has a lot of scope for more growth, because the entire economy is now getting financialized, right? So people earlier used to put money in bank FDs and in insurance products and etc. But now I think everybody wants to put the money through SIPs in the stock market. So the entire economy is shifting to this financial side, and that is creating a big opportunity for corporates to raise funds through the entire capital raising mechanism. It could be private capital, it could be venture capital, it could be IPOs. I think there is a lot of scope there. I mean, last 2 3 years have been great, but I believe that this cycle is going to continue. And as a firm, we are well positioned to take advantage of this up cycle. And I think that's where we would also, as a firm, want to focus on more going forward.
Any long-term plans for your practice, and any office in Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad coming up? What's next?
In terms of long-term plans, therefore, the idea was really to take, each year as it comes. I think we had very three three objectives we had very clearly in mind. One is that from a long-term perspective, we are not looking to be the largest firm. That's not our objective. Our objective is to be the most admired firm. Second was that we wanted to work on marquee clients only. So we are not going to work on any of clients, but we want to work on clients where we get a lot of credibility, a lot of complex assignments, and a lot of work satisfaction. And third was, of course, that we wanted to be a firm where people aspire to work for. So these are the three goals which we have set for us. That we would like to achieve these three goals over the long term, and hopefully we shall reach there. On expanding beyond the state, so we, again, like I said, because we're not in the numbers game, we are definitely looking to expand in other states, or even for that matter in Dubai and Singapore. But I'm very clear that we would want to have a very very strong team and a local partner led practice there. We don't want satellite offices. I would rather, if I'm putting an office in Mumbai, I would want to have a strong team there, strong partner there, strong support team there, the principals, team leaders, the execution team. Unless we are able to get those synergies with any particular either another firm or another person, I would not be just creating those nameplate offices.
Done. So, Nehal, thanks a ton for this. I mean, it was very insightful.